Sermon 1, Commentary. In relation to the sentence, the foremost in religion, deen, is his knowledge. The commentary states, the literal meaning of deen is obedience, and its popular sense is code, whether literal sense is taken or the popular one. In either case, if the mind is devoid of any conception of divinity, there would be no question of obedience, nor of the following any code. Because when there is no aim, there is no point in advancing towards it. Where there is no object in view, there is no sense in making efforts to achieve it. Nevertheless, when the nature and guiding faculty of man bring him in contact with a superior authority, and his taste for obedience and impulse of submission subjugates him before a deity, he finds himself bound by certain limitations as against abject freedom of activity. These very limitations are deen, religion, whose point of commencement is knowledge of Allah and acknowledgement of his being. After pointing out the essentials of divine knowledge, Amir al-Mu'mineen has described its important constituents and conditions. He has held those stages of such knowledge which people generally regard as the point of highest approach to be insufficient. He says that its first stage is that the natural sense of search for the unknown and the guidance of conscience, or on hearing from the followers of religion an image of the unseen being known as Allah, is formed in the mind. This image, in fact, is the forerunner of the obligation to thinking and reflection and to seeking his knowledge. But those who love idleness or are under pressure of environment do not undertake this search despite creation of such images, and the image fails to get testified. In this case, they remain deprived of divine knowledge, and since their in access to the stage of testifying after the formation of image is by volition, they deserve to be questioned about it. But one who is moved by the power of this image goes further and considers thinking and reflection necessary. In this way, one reaches the next stage of attainment of divine knowledge, namely, to search for the Creator through diversification of creation and species of creatures, because every picture is a solid and inflexible guide to the existence of its painter, and every effect to the action of its cause. When he casts his glance around himself, he does not find a single thing which might have come into existence without the act of a maker, so much so that he does not find the sign of a footstep without a walker, nor a construction without a builder. How can he comprehend that this blue sky, and the sun and the moon in its expanse, and the earth and the exuberance of its grass and flowers could have come into existence without the action of a creator? Therefore, after observing all that exists in the world and the regulated system of the entire creation, no one can help concluding that there is a creator for this world of diversities, because existence cannot come out of non-existence, nor can existence sprout forth from nothingness. The Holy Quran has pointed to this reasoning thus: what? About Allah is there any doubt, the originator of the heavens and the earth? But this stage would also be insufficient if this testimony in favour of Allah is tarnished by belief in the divinity of some other deity. The third stage is that his existence should be acknowledged along with belief in unity and oneness. Without this, the testimony to Allah's existence cannot be completed, because if more gods are believed in, he would not be one, whereas it is necessary that he should be one. The reason is that in case of more than one God, the question would arise whether one of them created all this creation, or all of them together. If one of them created it, they should be some differential to distinguish him, otherwise he would be accorded preferential position without reason, which is unacceptable to the mind. If all have created it collectively, then the position has only two forms. Either he cannot perform his function without the assistance of others, or he is above the need of their assistance. The first case means his incapability of being in need of others, while the other case means that they are several regular performers of a single act, and the fallacy of both has already been shown. If we assume that all the gods perform the act of creation by dividing among themselves, then, in this case, all the creation will not bear the same relationship towards the creator, since each creature will bear relationship only to its own creator, whereas every creature should have one and the same relationship to all creators. This is because all the creation should have one and the same relationship to all the creators as all the created in their capacity to accept effect, and all the creators in their capacity to produce effect should be similar. In short, there is no way but to acknowledge him as one, because in believing in numerous creators, there remains no possibility of the existence of any other thing, and destruction proves implicit for the earth, the sky, and everything in creation. Allah the Glorified has expressed the argument in the following words: had there been in the heavens and the earth other gods except Allah, they both had been in disorder. Quran 21:22. The fourth stage is that Allah should be regarded free of all defects and deficiencies and devoid of body, form, illustration, similarity, position of place or time, motion, stillness, incapability and ignorance, because they can be no deficiency or defect in the perfect being, nor can anyone be deemed like him, because all these attributes bring down a being from the high position of the creator to the low position of the created. That is why, along with unity, Allah has held purity from deficiency of equal importance. Say, He, Allah, is one alone, the needless. He beget not, nor is begotten, and there is none like unto him. Quran 112, verses 1-4. Likewise, vision perceiveth him not, and he perceiveth all vision. He is the subtle, the all-aware. Quran 6:104. Likewise, so coin ye not any similitudes to Allah. Verily Allah knoweth everything, and ye know not. Quran 16:74. And again, nothing whatsoever is there like the like of him, and he alone is the all-hearing and the all-seeing. The Quran 42:11. The fifth stage of completing his knowledge is that attributes should not be put in him from outside, lest there be duality in his oneness, and deviating from its proper connotation, unity may fall in the labyrinth of 1 in 3 and 3 in 1, because his being is not a combination of essence and form, so that attribute may cling to him, like smell in the flowers or brightness in the stars. Rather, he is the fountainhead of all attributes and needs no medium for manifestation of his perfect attributes. If he is named omnipotent, it is because the signs of his knowledge are manifest. If he is called omnipotent, it is because every particle points to his omnipotence and activity, and if to him is attributed the power to listen or to see, it is because the cohesion of the entire creation and its administration cannot be done without hearing or seeing, but the existence of these attributes in him cannot be held to be in the same way as in the creation, namely, that he should be capable to know only after he acquires knowledge, or he should be powerful and strong only after energy runs into his limbs, because taking attributes as separate from his being would connote duality, and where there is duality, unity disappears. This is how Amir al-Mu'mineen has rejected the idea of attributes being addition to his being, presented unity in its true significance, and did not allow unity to be tainted with stains of multiplicity. This did not mean that adjectives cannot at all be attributed to him, as this would be giving support to those who are groping in the dark abyss of negativism. Although every nook and comma in the entire existence is brimming with his attributes, and every particle of creation stands witness that he has knowledge, he is powerful, he hears, he sees. He nurtures under his care and allows growth under his mercy. The intention is that for him, nothing can be suggested to serve as an adjunct to him, because his self includes attributes, and his attributes connote his self. Let us learn this very theme in the words of Imam Abu Abdullah Jafar ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq alayhi salam, comparing it with the belief in unity adopted by other religions, and then appreciate who is the exponent of the true concept of unity. Imam Jafar as-Sadiq says, "Our Allah, the glorified, the magnificent, has ever had knowledge as his self, even though there is nothing to know, sight as his self, even though there was nothing to know, sight as his self, even though there was nothing to behold, hearing as his self, even though there was nothing to hear, and potence as his self, even though there was nothing to be under his potence. When he created the things and the object of knowledge came into existence, his knowledge became related to the known, hearing related to the heard, sight related to the seen, and potence related to its object." This is the belief over which the Imams of the Prophet's family are unanimous, but the majority group has adopted a different course by creating the idea of differentiation between his self and attributes. Ash-Sharistani says on page 42 of his book, Kitab al-Milal wa Nihat, according to Abul Hasan al-Ashari, Allah knows through the attributes of knowledge, is powerful through activity, speaks through speech, hears through hearing, and sees through sight. If we regard attributes distinct from self in this manner, there would be no alternatives. Either the attributes must have existed in him from ever, or they must have occurred later. In the first case, we have to recognize as many eternal objects as the attributes, which all will share with him in being eternal, but Allah is above what the people deem him to have equals. In the second case, in addition to subjecting him to the alternations, it would also mean that before the acquiring of the attributes, he was neither scient, nor powerful, nor hearer, nor beholder, and in this runs counter to the basic tenets of Islam.